This isn't your dusty old history class. This is the strange, the unexpected, and the mind-blowing. From ancient cities carved into cliffs to edible honey that's older than most empires, these facts will flip everything you thought you knew about the past. Why do ancient statues miss their noses? Who survived 2 atomic bombs? And how did Vikings have better hygiene than medieval kings? Whether it's cursed trumpets, forgotten gods, or a bush older than human civilization, get ready to rethink reality. These aren't just old stories. These are the most jaw-dropping, unbelievable, and straight-up wild facts in history. Why was Stonehenge really built? The true purpose of Stonehenge has mystified scientists for centuries. One theory says it was a solar calendar aligned with solstices. Others believe it served ritual or healing purposes. Its massive stones and precise design suggest deep significance. Despite countless excavations and research, its exact function remains unknown. Stonehenge continues to stand as a silent monument to ancient ingenuity and one of history's greatest mysteries. Can you believe the world's oldest cheese was found in a tomb over 3,000 years old? Discovered in China in 2014, this ancient cheese was buried with a Bronze Age nobleman. Made from cow, goat, and sheep's milk, it was preserved thanks to the tomb's dry environment. Its crumbly texture and salty taste survived millennia. Even more remarkable, the lactose was broken down, making it naturally lactose-free, a culinary time capsule. Believe it or not, the world's smallest island is only a few square meters. Bishop Rock, off England's coast, holds the record. Despite its tiny size, just a few square meters, it houses a lighthouse and marks England's westernmost point. Officially recognized by Guinness World Records, it proves that an island doesn't need to be large to be significant. Even this speck of land can have historical and navigational importance. How might things have been different if they had succeeded? In California's Mojave Desert, a creosote bush over 11,000 years old still grows. It reproduces in rings, each shoot replacing an older one, maintaining genetic continuity. This makes it Earth's oldest living organism. Surviving intense heat and drought, the bush symbolizes endurance. If untouched, it could outlive civilizations. Its quiet longevity reminds us of nature's power to persist through extremes. Did you know the Nile is the longest river in the world? Stretching over 6,650 kilometers, it flows through 11 countries across Africa. These nations rely on it for agriculture, transport, and daily life. From ancient Egypt to modern cities, the Nile has been central to human civilization. It's not just a river, it's a lifeline, shaping cultures and ecosystems through its enduring journey from source to sea. Tsutomu Yamaguchi was in Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, when the U.S. dropped the atomic bomb. He survived with burns. 3 days later, he returned to Nagasaki, just as the second bomb exploded. Miraculously, he survived again and saved his wife and son, who'd hidden in a tunnel. Exposure to both blasts didn't stop him from living to 93. Some call him the luckiest man alive, others say unluckiest. Either way, his story is one of history's wildest coincidences. Across ancient Assyria and Mexico, deities are shown holding a handbag-like object, despite no contact between these civilizations. Assyrian genies and Mayan gods all carry this symbol. Some say it represents the cosmos, square for Earth, semicircle for the sky. Others believe it's just a practical item. The mystery lies in the uncanny similarity. Maybe it's coincidence, maybe shared human instinct, or maybe gods just needed somewhere to store their divine gear while flexing across Earth. Why are so many Egyptian statues missing their noses? Historians once blamed time or accidents, but many statues were found intact, except for the nose. Turns out it was deliberate. Egyptians believed statues housed spirits, and smashing the nose stopped them from breathing. Rival rulers or tomb robbers broke noses to remove spiritual power. It wasn't vandalism, it was strategy. Makes you wonder about other missing noses. Bad preservation or curse prevention? Ancient grave robbers were superstitious and thorough. In 2016, a Siberian carving of a 7-headed snake deity was found. Strangely, the ancient Mexican goddess Chicomacotl had 7 serpents too, and India's goddess Manasa, also 7 snake heads. These cultures were continents apart, yet depicted the same number. Coincidence? Maybe. Snakes symbolized mystery and rebirth, while 7 appears often. 7 days, wonders, colors. Maybe that shared reverence caused similar myths. Or maybe 7-headed snake gods were way more global than we thought. Either way, the connection is freaky. Tutankhamun's ancient copper and silver trumpets weren't played until 1939 during a BBC broadcast. Soon after, World War II began. In 1967, the silver trumpet sounded again, followed by the Six-Day War. Another blow in 1990? The Gulf War. In 2011, the trumpet was played, and Egypt's revolution erupted. Coincidence? Maybe, but many believe they're cursed. Originally used to summon troops for King Tut, perhaps they still call armies to war. Personally, I wouldn't play them, just in case history repeats. Dragons appear in ancient myths everywhere. China, Iran, Mexico, Europe. Feathered serpents, fire breathers, and winged beasts all share similar forms, despite cultural isolation. Why? Some say early people saw dinosaur fossils and imagined dragons. Others think real animals inspired the myths, like crocodiles or snakes. Still, the global consistency is wild. In 2017, pranksters faked dragon bones, and locals believed them. Dragons may not be real, but our obsession with them definitely is. Like and subscribe, or the dragon might come for you. How long would it take to walk the Great Wall of China? Roughly 18 months. The wall stretches over 13,000 miles across mountains, deserts, and valleys. Walking its entire length is a feat few have completed, but those who do witness breathtaking views of one of humanity's greatest creations. It's not just a barrier, it's a journey through history. Lace up your shoes and bring a lot of snacks. You'll need them. Coober Pedy in Australia is so hot, its entire town is built underground, including the post office. Residents live in carved-out homes beneath the surface, escaping the desert heat. The underground post office functions just like any other, but it's nestled inside rock. Tourists marvel at this adaptation, proof of human resilience in extreme conditions. It's not just cool, it's literally cold down there, offering relief and mail in one extraordinary place. Sharks are older than trees, really. These ancient sea creatures have been around for over 400 million years, outliving trees by about 50 million years. That means sharks were swimming the oceans long before the first forests ever grew on land. It's mind-blowing to think these powerful predators have witnessed Earth's shifting continents, prehistoric extinctions, and evolving ecosystems. Sharks are true survivors from Earth's distant past, still thriving in modern oceans today. Why is the Leaning Tower of Pisa still standing? Built in the 12th century, it began leaning almost immediately due to unstable ground, but engineers and scientists worldwide have stabilized it by reinforcing its foundation. The lean has stopped increasing, making the structure safer than ever. Millions visit each year to see this iconic architectural oddity. Its enduring tilt now represents both historical miscalculation and modern engineering brilliance, transforming it into a beloved and enduring symbol of Italy. Did you know the oldest dental prosthesis is over 4,500 years old? Found in Egypt, it was a bridge made from real teeth bound together by gold threads. This ancient artifact reveals that early civilizations valued dental health enough to craft intricate solutions to replace missing teeth. Imagine the ingenuity it took to create such a device in an era without modern tools. Ancient Egyptians were far more advanced in medicine than we often realize. Did you know the world's oldest wooden wheel was found in Slovenia? Unearthed in 2002, this wheel dates back 5,000 years to around 3200 BCE. It was crafted during the Copper Age and likely used in Mesopotamian-style carts. Made with remarkable precision, the wheel offers rare insight into early transportation technology. Today, it's displayed in the Ljubljana Museum, where it tells a fascinating story of human invention and engineering from prehistory. Can you imagine drinking the same water dinosaurs once drank? Almost every water molecule on Earth today has been recycled over billions of years. These molecules have flowed through oceans, clouds, animals, and yes, even dinosaurs. The chances are high that at least one drop in your glass passed through a T-Rex or Diplodocus. Water constantly cycles through nature, meaning every sip you take connects you directly to Earth's ancient and mysterious past. Suspension bridges are not a modern invention. Turns out, people built them thousands of years ago. The Incas in South America created durable suspension bridges over rivers and valleys using nothing more than plant fibers and woven grass. These early bridges stretched across harsh mountain terrain and were vital for travel and trade. Though simple in design, they were incredibly strong and lasted for centuries, proving our ancestors' ingenuity in overcoming nature's obstacles. Did you know there was once red rain? In 2001 in Kerala, India, residents experienced a bizarre weather event, rain that fell bright red like blood. It lasted several weeks and shocked scientists and citizens alike. Eventually, it was discovered that desert sand particles had mixed with rainwater high in the atmosphere, causing the eerie coloration. This mysterious event still fascinates meteorologists today and remains one of the strangest atmospheric phenomena ever recorded on Earth. Did you know the world's oldest university was founded by a woman? The University of Al-Qarawiyyin in Fez, Morocco, was established in 859 by Fatima al-Fihri. She used her inheritance to build a mosque and a center of learning that still operates today. It predates European universities and is recognized as the oldest existing degree-granting institution. Fatima's legacy continues, reminding us that women have been shaping education and history since ancient times. Surprisingly, some snakes have vestigial legs. Boas and pythons retain tiny leg remnants called spurs, evolutionary leftovers from their lizard-like ancestors. These small projections near their tails are mostly hidden, but males sometimes use them during mating. Millions of years ago, snakes had limbs, but as they adapted to slithering, legs shrank away. Still, these spurs persist like ancient whispers. They offer fascinating insight into reptilian evolution, showing how nature doesn't always erase the past completely. Turtles are ancient relics with armor from the past. Turtles have existed for over 200 million years, predating even dinosaurs. Their shells aren't just protection, they're fused to their skeletons. Some species can live more than 150 years and swim thousands of kilometers across oceans. Leatherbacks, the largest, can weigh up to 900 kilograms. Through mass extinctions and global changes, turtles have endured. They are living fossils, quiet survivors from an age long gone, still gliding through modern waters. Can you imagine that Uluru is not just a rock, but a sacred monolith? Uluru, in Central Australia, is a towering sandstone monolith rising 348 meters high. It's more than a natural wonder. It's a sacred site for the Anangu people. Rich in Aboriginal stories, Uluru is deeply spiritual and culturally significant. Climbing it is discouraged out of respect. Its surface changes color with the light, glowing red at sunset. Uluru isn't just a geological marvel, it's a powerful symbol of heritage, respect, and connection to land. It turns out Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt. When we think of pyramids, Egypt is the first place that comes to mind. But here's a surprising fact. Sudan actually has more pyramids than Egypt. Egypt has about 138 pyramids, while Sudan boasts a whopping 255. These ancient structures, though less famous, represent a treasure trove of history yet to be discovered. If you love pyramids and ancient history, Sudan could be your next big adventure. Did you know Morocco was America's first ally? Morocco was the first country to recognize the United States back in 1777, just a year after the Declaration of Independence. This early act of diplomacy led to the 1786 Treaty of Friendship, which is still in effect today, making it the longest-standing U.S. treaty. Morocco's support opened doors for American ships and international trade, creating a bond that endures more than 2 centuries later. Did you know that in Egypt there is an ancient lighthouse that has been working for over 2,000 years? Egypt's ancient lighthouse of Alexandria once guided sailors and stood for centuries. Built in the 3rd century BC, it was among the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Though destroyed by earthquakes, parts of it were reconstructed, and its guiding legacy continued. Its enduring presence shows how ancient technology could serve practical purposes for thousands of years. It remains a symbol of resilience and brilliance in navigation history. Can you believe coconuts kill more people than sharks? Coconuts cause more deaths annually than sharks, about 150 compared to around 50 from shark attacks. Falling coconuts can reach speeds over 50 miles per hour from heights of 80 feet, striking with deadly force. While sharks terrify beachgoers, the humble coconut is the real danger lurking above. It's a reminder that the things we fear the least can sometimes pose the greatest and strangest threats. Ever seen a whole city carved straight into a mountain? That's Petra, hidden in Jordan's desert cliffs. It was once a thriving trade hub with temples, tombs, and even a smart water system, all carved from rose-colored rock. Then suddenly, the people disappeared. Earthquake? Invasion? Total mystery. It stayed hidden from the world until the 1800s. Even now, no one knows exactly why Petra was abandoned. One thing's for sure. This place is ancient, epic, and seriously underrated. Modern concrete falls apart in decades. But Roman concrete? That stuff is still going strong after 2,000 years. They mixed volcanic ash with seawater and lime, and somehow made it stronger with time. Especially in seawalls. How? Turns out a rare crystal forms inside it when it reacts with water. Basically, the Romans invented self-healing concrete before smart materials were even a thing. Maybe we should stop building glass towers and take a few tips from ancient engineers. Imagine a library that wanted to collect every scroll ever written, Greek, Egyptian, Indian, you name it. That was the Library of Alexandria. Scholars from all over the world came to study there. It might have held secrets about astronomy, medicine, even ancient inventions we've lost forever. Then it burned. Maybe during Caesar's invasion. Maybe later. No one's sure. All that knowledge, gone. It's like humanity's brain had a hard reset. We're still wondering what we could have learned from it. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were supposedly lush, terraced gardens with waterfalls in the middle of a desert. Sounds epic, right? The thing is, no one can find them. Not a single ruin. Some think they were in Nineveh, not Babylon. Others think they never existed at all, just a poetic story. Still, ancient writers swore they were real. Whether myth or miracle, the idea of a floating garden paradise in ancient times is just too cool to ignore. The Nazca lines in Peru are giant drawings of monkeys, spiders, and birds, etched into the desert so large you can only really see them from the sky. Here's the catch. They were made over 2,000 years ago, with no drones, no planes. How? No one knows. Some say they're for gods, others think they're calendars. A few go full alien theory. Whatever they are, the Nazca people left us a mystery that still hasn't been solved. When you think of Egyptian mummies, you probably imagine gold masks and linen wraps. But onions? Yep, onions were tucked in their eye sockets, under the skin, and even in their hands. Why? Egyptians believed onions had magical powers that helped the soul in the afterlife. The strong smell symbolized rebirth. So these weren't just burial snacks, they were sacred tools. Turns out, mummification was less science lab and more spiritual ritual, loaded with meaning we're still figuring out. In a shipwreck off Greece, divers found a rusted chunk of bronze. But it wasn't junk. It was the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient device with dozens of gears. It could predict eclipses, planetary movements, and even the Olympics. Made over 2,000 years ago, it's basically the first known computer. No one thought ancient people could build something that precise. It's so advanced, scientists are still decoding it. Just imagine what else they made that we haven't found yet. Before paper, before books, there were clay tablets. The Sumerians, over 5,000 years ago, were writing everything from business deals to beer recipes by pressing marks into clay. That system, called cuneiform, is the world's oldest writing. These weren't just scribbles. They recorded laws, prayers, stories, even jokes. Sumerians basically invented civilization. Cities, taxes, calendars, you name it. Without their dusty little tablets, we'd know almost nothing about humanity's earliest chapters. They were the OG record keepers. For centuries, hieroglyphs were just mysterious bird symbols no one could read. Then came the Rosetta Stone. Found in 1799, it had the same message in 3 languages, including Greek, which we could already read. Boom. Code cracked. Suddenly, Egypt started talking again. Temples, spells, royal decrees, we could finally understand them. Without this one slab of stone, ancient Egypt might still be a silent mystery. It's like someone finally handed us the subtitles for an entire lost civilization. You've heard the legend, Helen of Troy, the wooden horse, a war over beauty. Sounds like fiction, right? But in the 1870s, a guy named Heinrich Schliemann dug up ruins in Turkey that matched Homer's story. Burn layers, big walls, even treasure. Turns out, Troy might have been real all along. Not exactly like the Iliad, but close. It blurs the line between myth and history. Maybe legends aren't so far from the truth after all. Before Hammurabi, there was the Code of Ur-Nammu, the oldest law code we know of, written around 2100 BCE. It laid out rules for theft, marriage, and injury. And get this, it wasn't all harsh punishment. Some penalties were just fines. It shows that even thousands of years ago, people were trying to figure out fairness and justice. The code was written in Sumerian, pressed into clay. Turns out, legal drama is way older than courtroom TV. The Indus Valley civilization built super-organized cities over 4,000 years ago, complete with grid streets, public baths, and drainage systems better than some today. Places like Mohenjo-Daro were ahead of their time. But here's the mystery. We can't read their script. At all. It's like having a hard drive full of data and no way to open it. We don't know what they called themselves, what they believed, or how they vanished. Their silence is driving historians nuts. Everyone knows the story of 300 Spartans holding off the Persians at Thermopylae. It's true, but they weren't alone. Around 7,000 Greeks joined the stand. Still, the Spartans were the heart of it. Their training was brutal, their discipline unmatched. Even when surrounded, they fought to the death. They didn't expect to win. They just refused to back down. That bravery turned into legend. Thermopylae wasn't just a battle. It was the ultimate "we're not going quietly" moment in history. The Maya civilization tracked the planet Venus so precisely, their calendar rivaled modern tools. They believed Venus influenced war, harvests, and kingship. Temples were aligned with its rising and setting. Some cities even planned battles based on its position. These weren't just stargazers, they were cosmic strategists. Their understanding of astronomy was woven into daily life. And no, they didn't predict the end of the world in 2012, but they definitely knew their way around the night sky. Forget horned helmets. Vikings didn't wear those. That myth came from opera costumes in the 1800s. Real Vikings were way cooler. They used combs, tweezers, even dyed their hair. And yeah, they were fierce raiders, but also farmers, traders, and incredible navigators. They reached North America around the year 1000, centuries before Columbus. So next time someone calls them barbarians, remind them, Vikings had better hygiene than most medieval nobles, and probably better GPS instincts than most of us. You've probably heard an eye for an eye. That's from Hammurabi's code, written around 1754 BCE. But here's what people miss. It wasn't just harsh. It protected the poor, orphans, and widows. It was one of the first legal systems to say, hey, laws should apply to everyone. Carved into stone, these 282 laws covered everything from wages to contracts. It wasn't perfect, but for its time, it was a big step towards civilization treating people more fairly. The Persians beat summer heat with giant domes called yakhchals, ancient fridges that kept ice frozen in the middle of the desert. They used underground chambers, thick walls, and clever airflow to pull it off. Some stored winter ice for summer months. And these weren't small. They looked like upside-down cones and worked like a charm. Some are still standing today. They were cool, literally and figuratively, sustainable, and way ahead of their time. Who needs AC when you've got this? Everyone learns the Pythagorean theorem in school, but did you know Pythagoras might not have invented it? Babylonian tablets from over 1,000 years earlier show they understood right-angled triangles just fine. Pythagoras probably just proved it formally. Ancient Egyptians used triangle math in pyramid building too. History tends to give credit to the loudest voice, but in reality, brilliant ideas usually come from many minds over generations. Sorry, Pythagoras, you might have just had better PR. In the 1830s, ketchup wasn't just a condiment, it was a cure. Dr. John Cook Bennett added tomatoes to ketchup and claimed it could treat indigestion and diarrhea. He even sold ketchup pills. While it worked a bit like a laxative, most claims were overhyped marketing. Still, people believed in it. Forget minty freshness. Ancient Egyptians had a gritty morning routine. Their toothpaste blend included crushed eggshells, powdered ox hooves, ash, and even rock salt with iris flowers. Sounds painful, right? But modern studies show it actually cleaned teeth pretty well. Its abrasive texture scrubbed off plaque effectively. While breath freshness may have been questionable, their dental care was surprisingly ahead of its time. Here's a historical twist. Cleopatra lived closer to the moon landing than to the construction of the Great Pyramid. Born in 69 BC, she ruled over an Egypt where the pyramids were already ancient, over 2,000 years old. Fast forward to 1969, and humans were walking on the moon. To Cleopatra, the pyramids were already relics of the distant past. Ancient Egypt was so old, even the ancient Egyptians thought parts of it were ancient. Ancient Rome didn't only cheer for men in the arena, female gladiators or gladiatrices fought too. Though rare, they battled animals or other women in bloody spectacles. Sometimes they even staged sea battles. Roman emperors eventually banned them in the 3rd century AD, possibly due to shifting public opinion, but traces of their existence survive in art and carvings. Paper changed the world, and it began in ancient China. In 105 AD, a court official named Kai Lun mixed mulberry bark, hemp, rags, and water to create the first true paper. Before that, people wrote on bamboo, silk, or animal hides, bulky and expensive. Kai Lun's method made writing cheaper and accessible, triggering a communication revolution, a humble invention that shaped global civilization as we know it. Oxford University feels ancient, and it is. Teaching began there in 1096. Meanwhile, the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, wasn't founded until 1325. That means Oxford is older than the entire Aztec Empire. One group of students was scribbling Latin, while the other hadn't even built a temple. History's timeline isn't neat. It overlaps in mind-bending ways. So yes, people were stressing about medieval exams centuries before Aztecs carved stone pyramids. Alexander the Great may have suffered a terrifying fate. After falling mysteriously ill at age 32, he was declared dead, but his body didn't decompose for 6 days. Some modern doctors believe he had Guillain-Barré syndrome, a condition that causes total paralysis while leaving the mind alert. If true, he was buried alive, unable to move or speak. Think camels are desert-only animals? Millions of years ago, massive camels called camelops roamed snowy forests in North America. They were taller than modern camels and adapted to icy tundras. Fossils found in the Arctic reveal thick bones and padded feet for freezing climates. They vanished around 11,000 years ago, possibly due to hunting and climate shifts. Arctic camels were a real and chilly part of our past. We humans have been around for about 200,000 years, but only the last 6,000 are written down. That means 97% of human history is undocumented. No books, no scrolls, just bones, cave art, and scattered tools. Imagine all the stories, beliefs, and inventions we'll never know. Civilizations that rose and vanished without leaving a sentence behind. A mystery lost to time. Thomas Edison didn't mean to invent Hollywood, but he sort of did. In the early 1900s, he held patents on most film equipment. Fed up with lawsuits, filmmakers fled New Jersey and moved to Los Angeles. The sunny weather was perfect for year-round shooting, and courts there weren't on Edison's side. Thus, Hollywood was born, not from stardust, but from legal evasion and sunshine. In 1795, Napoleon offered cash for better food storage to feed his armies. Nicholas Appert answered by sealing food in glass jars and heating them, creating the first form of canning. It worked so well, soldiers marched farther, explorers lasted longer, and grocery shelves were forever changed. Later, tin cans replaced jars, so when you grab canned soup or beans today, remember, it all began with Napoleon's ambition. Tired of the Roman calendar drifting out of sync, Julius Caesar stepped in. In 46 BCE, he introduced the Julian calendar. 365 days, 12 months, and leap years. It aligned months with seasons and fixed scheduling chaos across the empire. For over 16 centuries, the Julian system ruled Western timekeeping. Even today's Gregorian calendar is based on it. Time, organized by an emperor with a vision. Wars usually drag on, but in 1896, the Anglo-Zanzibar War lasted only 38 minutes. After the Sultan of Zanzibar refused Britain's ultimatum to step down, British forces opened fire at 9:02 a.m. By 9:40, it was over. The palace was destroyed, the Sultan fled, and history logged the world's shortest war. It ended faster than your favorite sitcom episode. We used to think agriculture led to temples, but Göbekli Tepe, built around 9500 BC, flipped that belief. Constructed by hunter-gatherers before farming took hold, it's a massive spiritual site with carved stones and ritual spaces, but no signs of homes or crops. It suggests that religion and worship may have inspired human settlement, not the other way around. Spirituality might have sparked the first real steps toward civilization. Customer service rants aren't new. In 1750 BC, a man named Nani sent history's first known complaint letter on a clay tablet. He blasted a merchant named Iya Nazar for delivering subpar copper and mistreating his messenger. Nani demanded better goods or a refund. This 4,000-year-old tablet still exists and holds a Guinness World Record. Even back then, buyers were fed up with bad service. During Soviet rule, Genghis Khan's legacy was wiped out in Mongolia. Seen as too nationalistic, his name was removed from books, maps, and public monuments. For decades, Mongolians couldn't even mention him. It wasn't until the USSR collapsed in the 1990s that Khan's memory returned, alongside statues, studies, and cultural pride. One of history's fiercest conquerors was silenced for political reasons, but his influence was too big to bury forever. Forget sprays. Ancient Egyptians wore their perfume. At feasts and ceremonies, they perched wax cones on their heads made from fragrant oils, myrrh, and frankincense. These cones slowly melted under the sun, releasing a pleasant aroma throughout the day. Art shows guests relaxing with scented cones on their wigs. It was practical, stylish, and the ultimate ancient fragrance hack. No need for spritzes. Just melt, smell amazing, and party like an Egyptian. And that's a wrap. If your mind isn't blown yet, hit that rewind button. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable facts every week. History's full of surprises, and we're just getting started. See you in the next one, where the past gets even weirder.